So I guess what other perceptions do you have of Jaguar? Because some of the precedent Jaguars that are in my head is the one that was owned by Arthur in I can't remember what the name of the show was, Governor, but it was some old pommy show. Minder, that's the one. It was shonky car salesman type guy that was driven around by an angry ginger. And the same goes for a lot of the vehicles that you sort of see in car shows. I saw a few at the Noosa Classic Car Show this year, and a lot of those ones were, again, more focused toward the luxury end of the spectrum. And as it has been in a lot of the previous luxury vehicles, sporty handling wasn't really necessarily a forte or a focus, but nobody really wanted to have a super handling luxury vehicle. Most of them were on the other end of the spectrum, where you bought a luxury car to do luxury things like loafing about, going to the track and checking up on the stables, that sort of thing. Whereas back then you would buy a sports car to do sporty things. Now, thank you to the benefit of modern technology, we have things like active dynamic sport control, or whatever they want to call it. So you have suspension systems that monitor how the car is moving across the terrain, and they make adjustments like in milliseconds about how they want the car to react to a bump or a rebound based on the settings of the driver themselves. So you control this stuff. So I've got a selection here where I can pick normal mode, dynamic mode, or eco mode also, just in case there's a rain, ice and snow. I'm in Queensland, but you know, you need it just in case. So there's all these options you can have there. Again, providing additional control for the driver to make sure that they are actually in the driver's seat, metaphorically speaking as well as literally. So now you can have a modern luxury car that has sporty handling when you want it and luxury handling when you don't want it, which really suits the demeanour of the XE itself, because, as I was saying, this is a 2-litre turbo diesel, 132 kilowatts, 430 newton meters of torque, so it's got a reasonable amount of power, a whole lot of torque. But when you're not in the torque band, it's very relaxed and has very good fuel economy. So when you're driving around town like I am today, you don't need to use all that torque, so you don't have to rev the diesel very hard. You don't need to leap off the line to try and get into traffic, because the traffic is everywhere. So it takes advantage of things like the auto stop start function that I've just had going on here. So obviously that cuts the engine and it doesn't consume any fuel when you're just sitting still. And of course, when you actually do get some time to go for a bit of a run out in the country and go flying through some country back roads like I like to do, the fuel economy is there so that you can still get a fairly decent range. We're talking about over 1,000 kilometres if you're just sitting on the highway. So it's a great country tourer. It's very efficient. So it's a great country tourer. It's very efficient when you're around town. It's super comfortable in either circumstance or environment. The finish is great. The whole thing looks really good inside and out. There's very little to fault this car. In fact, really the only problems with it is the amount of accommodation, but I mean this is I guess just a symptom of the actual segment that it's in. It's not because it's a particularly small car. Ultimately though, the Jaguar XE is a pretty satisfying drive and a very well-rounded compromise between a country car and a city car. So if you're not looking for a traffic light drag racer, if you don't want to show off to your friends, I mean if you do, go buy like an AMG or something. Actually no, you can probably get one of the other choices of engines where you've got the 2-litre petrol, or there's the supercharged 3-litre V6, which I'm sure would probably impress people if that's your bag. If not, if you're just looking for a nice quiet country tourer, this is a really great choice. And again, if you're looking for a nice city car to confidently navigate the streets in and be comfortable, again, a very good car. Personally, I like it because it's pretty damn sexy.